My 29 female, boyfriend, 28 male, has made it clear the relationship will never be more than it is now due to my race. What now? Well, hello there, welcome back. My name's Jack. No, I will not hit the road, it hurts my legs. And today we're suiting out and relaxing with a bit of relationship issues. Because why not? It's fun. But enough dibble-dabbling, let's get on to the stories. We've been dating for about a year. The subject of marriage came up today, and I was told it's completely out of the question because I'm of a different ethnic group. His family expect him to marry a woman of his same ethnic group. I told him he should marry the person he falls in love with. His argument is that although he's in love with me, he needs to continue the bloodline and show his family respect. I had no idea this was even an issue. I'm feeling really used, knowing this was never going anywhere. He doesn't even realize he hurt me, as he feels like this is just something he has to do. I really need some advice if this is normal, and how should I approach this? Well, I'm going to be straight up and point out the fact that your partner is a racist. Now, of course, he isn't advocating for a one-skin policy in his country and all that kind of jargon. But he's dismissing a future prospect with you based on the color of your skin. Like, that's just racism full stop. Now, where this racism is stemming from is exactly where it becomes more of a complex issue. Even if he truly loves you, like he's stating, he's clearly grown up with a family culture that is extremely pressured on appeasing those before you. And so he's grown up with this mentality that marriage is more so a process of heritage rather than actual bond of companionship. It's definitely no thanks to his family culture that's pushed this onto him. However, I'll say that explains it. That doesn't at all excuse it. The man is 28 for goodness sake. And if he truly loved you, he would absolutely give the middle finger to his family for rejecting your choice. Clearly, this man isn't actually intending on keeping this relationship. He's made you a placeholder. Unless he actually tries to talk about this with you, he definitely needs you to confront him about the fact that if he's not going to respect you over the rather culturally racist beliefs of his family, then you're out. You deserve better than that. It's one thing to find certain aspects of a person attractive that aren't really common among someone's race, specifically just in the physical. But it's another to outright reject someone just because of their ethnicity. I understand that's quite a fine line to walk across. As an example, I know I'm much more attracted to the pale-skinned Caucasian European women out there. And I know that's quite influenced by all the women I watched growing up on media, in shows, in books, in stories. As a result, it isn't until I exposed myself to more diverse groups of people that I fully realized that I had this sort of preference that was causing me to look past people that I could otherwise have developed really good relationships with. Does it make me racist in a way? Well, slightly, but it's also something I actively stay aware of when it comes to being in the dating scene. Am I swiping left on this girl because I don't find her attractive? Or am I being influenced by what I was exposed to growing up in terms of what is the attractive person? I understand if that sounded confusing. It was a bit hard to explain it myself. Anyway, let's see what the comments have to say. He seems to think you are of an inferior species. Don't spend another minute with this racist. I mean, it really hurt because that's exactly the way I heard it. I was just hoping there would be a way to talk to him. I really love him. Break up with him. What's left to consider? You two don't have a future. He's made that clear. And since this reflects his family's expectations, no amount of talking about the issue is likely to change his mind. Given that you now have all the facts, you're allowed to be surprised and hurt, but you should also be already out the door. It sounds like his parents aren't the only ones who want him to continue the bloodline. I know he says that's what they want, but he doesn't sound too bothered based on what you said. If marriage is something you know you absolutely want from the relationship down the line, but it is not something he's willing to agree to, then maybe, just maybe, it's not worth more of your time or energy. Continuing on for longer only to keep ending up in this stalemate doesn't sound like it'd be in your best interest. I am definitely not saying just break up, but I think you need to consider whether him not willing to marry you due to your race is a deal breaker for you or not. There's no real way to approach this. Either you hang on to the relationship knowing that marriage is not a milestone you guys will hit and just enjoy the time you have together, or, my personal fave, you find someone who actually loves you as you'd like them to. He's basically telling you that he doesn't love you enough and that this bloodline and respecting his family wishes trump your relationship. You can risk it all and hope he might change, but you can be waiting for him to mentally grow, and then he suddenly decides it's time to find his wife who isn't you. Our next story. I think I might have ruined my parents' marriage by telling my mom about the condom I found in my dad's car. My dad is 41. My mum is 43. I'm 18. Their 23rd anniversary has recently passed. Oh my god. Some background. I'm leaving for college tomorrow and I'm taking my dad's car as my own. He asked me to clean it out and I found an unopened condom in the backseat pocket. I thought it was gross, but I didn't think anything of it. I tossed it and continued with my day. Fast forward to about 30 minutes ago. My siblings and I are joking around, and I'm not sure how it came up, but I mentioned it to them. Again, I didn't think anything of the condom I found. So my sisters are laughing, and I go to yell it out to the whole family to embarrass my dad. That's how we joke here. One of my sisters shook her head no to me, and it still didn't click, but I stopped mid-sentence. My mum heard me stop and wanted to hear what I was saying and forced it out of me. I skated around the question because my sister was adamant in telling me no via body language. Eventually, I said it, but it still hadn't clicked in my head. As I was relaying the story to her, I got it. I said how I found it in the back seat. I cringed because it sounded so bad. I tried to save it by saying that it was in the pocket behind the driver's seat and that it was unopened, but it didn't help at all. When I finished, my mum looked somewhat distraught and a little later confronted my dad. It got silent, with only the whispers of my parents talking and me and my sisters gossiping. When my mum came back, it was tense. After that, my mum joked with me and my siblings, and didn't say much to my dad. I feel terrible right now. I feel like I shouldn't have said anything, but I know most people would want to be informed about something like that. I didn't even consider the possibility that my dad could be cheating. I don't know what to do, and I feel like a huge a-hole right now. I don't know what to think. What do I do in this situation? Do I apologize to them? How can I fix this? Calm down, buddy. I think you may be overthinking this situation a little. I mean, yes, I am equally suspicious that maybe your father has some extramarital affairs going on. But it may be possible that it wasn't actually cheating. It sounds, at least from the way your mother reacted and then spoke to your father about it, that condom may have been for them themselves on some other romantic evening out. There's also the wild possibility that your parents have started a bit of an open relationship behind their back. Of course, that's really just assuming anything. Look, I think if it is something serious, you were still in the right to actually tell her. I think if anything, if it does turn out there was cheating, you should be absolutely furious at your father for betraying the family like that. Not at all at yourself for dropping the truth. I don't think you have anything to fix. I don't think you need to apologize about anything. But assuming the worst, I think you should definitely be showing some moral support towards your mum. Assuming it was cheating and the father did confess, and then she comes back to the room with you all tense and then joking along, shows she is someone who tries to keep up appearances, which is definitely unhealthy when you're going through something like finding out your spouse has been cheating. But that's just my theory on things. Let's see what other people have to say. If your dad is having an affair in his car at his age, that's absolutely horrible. His girlfriend must be a real winner. Your mum deserves better. This sucks that you had to be the one to find it. If he is cheating, he ruined things, not you. Does anyone else use this car? In my family, we all used my dad's car, so even if I had found something like that, I'd assume it was my brother or something. He was the only one using it besides me. I think I might have ruined my parents' marriage. Nope. If your dad is freaking around, he did all that by himself. That isn't on you at all. Let go of the guilt. You didn't do anything wrong. I wouldn't apologize. You didn't do anything wrong. You simply reported what you saw without making accusations. If it ruins their marriage, then their marriage is ruined by your dad cheating, not because of you. It would take a pretty horrific son to suspect their mum might be getting cheated on and not say anything, so you're morally in the clear. In these situations, your obligation is always to the person being betrayed, not the person who might be fricking around. If you came in and immediately said, "Mom, I found a condom and Dad's cheating on you," then that might be a bit premature. But you didn't. If there's a good explanation for the condom, then no harm is done. Let them solve this between them. Confess that it was really your used condom. I'm really sorry this happened. It's honestly a bit of a lose-lose situation, I think. You don't have anything to feel bad about, though. This is entirely on your dad. Firstly, give it time. Don't mention it to your mom or dad for a while because they need to sort things out between each other. After some time has passed, I'd go to your mum one-on-one and let her know that you sensed some tension and she doesn't need to feel obligated to talk about why that is, but you felt like you should be direct about how you picked up on it. That'll put her in a place to share if she wants. Prepare yourself for her to be upset, though, because this is all really raw and painful for her and will be for a while. Personally, I wouldn't talk to your dad about it unless y'all are incredibly close. Good luck.
Hey, I'm just noticing you're more than 30 seconds into the video. If you could like it, that'd be great. Thanks.
Our next story. I, 27 female, found out the guy I am seeing, 35 male, has a girlfriend. Now he is blaming me for feeling heartbroken and said I should have known. What do I do? I have been seeing Jack for about 1 year. Oh, why'd you call him Jack? We started out as close friends after we met at work last year summer. When I switched to a new workplace, we remained in touch and hung out several times. There was great chemistry between us from the very beginning. In January, he admitted that he liked me but that he wanted to take things slow. He said previous bad relationships had hurt him a lot and committing to someone new was difficult. I completely understand since I also had a similar experience, so we agreed to take things easy. He started taking me out on dates. We went out on dinners, we spent a weekend together for a holiday, we started having adult time. He would always help me out if I needed him. He sent me countless amounts of texts, sends me good night and good morning texts. We saw each other at least 5 times each week. He even met my parents twice because he felt he wanted to know the people closest to me. Everyone got along so fine, and Jack even let my dad test drive his new car. After he met my parents, he said he loved me. I also loved him at this point, and things felt amazing. However, he still didn't commit. I asked him about it, and he kept saying how it was because of his past. I began feeling something was wrong. I didn't get to meet his parents, for example. He said he had an awful connection with them, so he wasn't in touch with them. I believed that, so I asked him if I could maybe meet his friends. He said he saw no need for that either, and even said how he never really talked about me to them. I thought this was strange, since I definitely talked about Jack with my friends. He told me, "You shouldn't want to meet them. What does meeting them change anything about my feelings for you? You mean the world to me." I kept noticing more strange things. We didn't visit his place that often. I'd been there before. I had watched a movie there with him, and we had adult time there too. It was a normal place which he shared with his dog. Sometimes, if I'd suggest going to his place, he said it was a mess and would rather see me at mine. I also noticed how he stopped getting back to me in a normal time frame during the weekend. I stopped getting any messages from him in the mornings during the weekend, only for him to do it again on Monday to Friday. And sometimes he wouldn't even get back to me in 2 days because it was weekend. And he'd say, "I was just busy with working out and my friends. Why are you making such a big deal out of this?" He told me I was too insecure, and he said he'd forgive me for it, but that I needed to work on that for myself. I have dealt in the past with feeling insecure, so I thought I was probably overreacting. Today, I was browsing through his social media. I barely used my social media and had seen his page once or twice. There were just some pictures of him and his dog. A comment on one of his older pictures caught my attention. A girl was commenting how hot he was and sent an emoji heart. I clicked on her name. As her profile picture, I see her and Jack kissing. I also see other pictures of them during holidays, having dinners, hers holding his dog in her arms. I felt sick. I called him up and told him what I had found. His response? That was his girlfriend. He said he had no intentions ever to make me his girlfriend. I asked him why he spent so much time hanging out with me and why he said he had loved me. He said he liked me, but he had no feelings for me, period. He actually added that word, period. I barely recognized him. I said that he had broken my heart. His response? I should have known better. I should have realized this wasn't serious. And then he said, "How dare you say I have broken your heart? Stop putting all this stuff on me. This is not my fault." I asked him, maybe foolishly, if his girlfriend even knew. He said she had no idea, but that she was great, never complained like I would, was never jealous, would work on certain things so he could do whatever he wants. He said he was bored of her and their relationship when he met me, so that is when he decided to see me. I was shaking at this point and told him how much pain he caused me, and also her if she'd find out. He said it was all my own fault if I felt any pain at all. He said I should have known there was another woman in the picture. He said I wasn't thinking straight and I decided to end the call. It's been some hours. I do not know what to do. I feel guilty for ever getting involved in another relationship. I feel disgusting for having slept with him. I feel broken. Should I have known there was someone else? Was I really too blind to see all the red flags? And should I let her know? TLDR, guy I've been seeing for several months has a girlfriend. He says I should have known this and that it's my own fault for feeling hurt. Is this my fault? And should I let her know? The fact, as you're stating, he has expressed so much emotional connection towards you, only for him to backflip it and all like it was nothing? That's a full-blown sociopath right there. At least very obvious signs. This man has been so manipulative to you and this other woman. You are not at fault for this. And if you really were meant to know, he would have made sure you knew. Instead, he avoided bringing it up or pointing it out just so that you would stay ignorant. This scum wanted you to be ignorant. So don't you for a second think that you have done the wrong thing here. If anything, the wrong thing you do is to not tell this girlfriend. Now, I understand some people's justification for not telling people when they're being cheated on due to being a lack of an actual connection to that person, or you don't know the person being cheated on anyway, so why does it matter? But that just makes you an enabler of the issue. It's like excusing yourself from checking on someone who's just suddenly collapsed on the street across from you. Well, you don't know them, and look, you're busy going this direction, they're all the way in the other direction, so... I mean, you're allowed to think like that, you have that freedom, but don't for a second think that you can call yourself a good Samaritan. And that applies for cheating as well. Gather all those photos and texts that you received from this scum, and dump them straight into her DMs. This guy's clearly using women for his own ego and doesn't care at all about how you feel. I'm genuinely sorry for the extreme trust issues you're going to be developing as a result of this. And I assure you that not all jacks are like this. I will be getting the Jack committee together, we'll discuss this and figure out how to deal with this rogue Jack. Let's look at the comments. Block him on everything, never talk to him again, and thank all the gods that you dodged a huge, selfish, narcissistic A-bucket of a bullet here. If you feel like it's right to let her know, send her screenshots of the texts, but please be ready for her to believe him over you. And maybe you should talk to a counselor so you can start healing from how much of a jack-A he was. You've got this, dear one. I think you should tell her, not out of vengeance, because she should know that he has been cheating on her. All that stuff about you should have known is just a-hole self-defense. Frankly, she deserves to know that he is secretly this horrible of a person. That's insane. This person has severe mental or emotional issues that he needs professional help with. Be glad you found out better late than never. Make sure you recognize the red flags next time you encounter them and start moving on. You dodged a bullet. Can you imagine what being in his girlfriend's shoes would be like? I just hope she doesn't end up with an incurable STI. I am realizing now that he definitely has issues. He always tried to make it seem that I was insecure, needy, and that I needed to work on myself. Now I see that it's him who needs help. I am glad I found it, but I have yet to feel happy about this discovery. It hurts a lot knowing that there's people out there like him. That's the worst. I am so sorry for you. Drop all contact. I'm not a tell the girlfriend type personally. I think focusing on revenge and then being part of the aftermath of that isn't worth what it would do to you. Those are ugly parts of ourselves that we shouldn't tap into and encourage if we can avoid it. But this dude totally deserves to have his life blown up. What an a-hole.
Hello. That does us for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're looking at my face right now, that means you liked this video. So all I appreciate is if you would like the video back. Because if you like it, then I'll like you for liking the video, and then I can make more stuff for you to like that you can like. And it'll be just a constant cycle of never-ending pain and suffering. So don't do it alone. Suffer with me. I don't know where I was going with that. If you haven't subscribed but you want to see some more content, then please, what are you waiting for? Click that notification bell so you're always updated on the latest content. And hey, why not check out some other videos while you're here? But anyway, that does me for today. Thank you again for watching. You're an amazing person. I love rambling at you. And I look forward to you staring at me beyond the abyss again soon. I can't close well. Don't at me, okay? My name's Jack. Bye-bye. You're amazing. See ya.